Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello there, welcome to another edition of Money Radio. It's reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ubebo. I hope you had a swell weekend. And with me in the studio here is an in-house analyst. He is the editor of National Economy, Kingsley Ali. Kingsley, thank you so much for being a part of today's program. And we are going to be reviewing the cover stories and inside stories as well of national economy. Let's go to national economy and see what they are offering today, Monday, January 16, 2023. National economy says, Downstream Petroleum Sector. Why Nigeria finds it difficult to attain full deregulation. Downstream Petroleum Sector. Why Nigeria finds it difficult to attain full deregulation. With oil theft, pipeline vandalism, moribund refineries, private sector participation will be difficult, experts. With oil theft, pipeline vandalism, moribund refineries, private sector's participation will be difficult, experts. I'll take the leading story once again. Downstream petroleum sector, why Nigeria finds it difficult to attain full deregulation. Before we move over to discuss the leading story, we have other interesting stories as well on national economy. We have cashless policy, how businesses are coping. The story is on page 5 of national economy. Nigeria losing billions to absence of 24-hour port operation. The story is also on page 5 of national economy. And the strip, we have sustaining Nigeria's domestic LPG growth. Sustaining Nigeria's domestic liquefied LPG growth. The story is on page 13 or 19, thereabout, of national economy. Yes, Kingsley, the leading story is that we have on national economy, downstream petroleum sector, why Nigeria finds it difficult to attain full deregulation. What is the hoopla in the oil sector that Nigeria finds it so difficult to attain full deregulation, as you pointed out on today's cover? With all the policies, with all the avoiders, the pledges to regulate Nigerian oil sector, we are still where we started.
Yeah, because first of all, it's about fiscal health of the country. It's not in good shape. And like you pointed out, despite several policies and tinkerings here and there, we're still not there yet. But the thing is, if you want to fully deregulate, there are certain obstacles that must give way. Major among them is, number one, we talk of the even this vandalism, talk of the vandalism, you talk of looking at the level playing field. You also talk of oil theft that has been a recurring decimal in the sector. Also, you talk about getting the regulatory agencies to really sit up and work and then deal with leadership issues in the sector, bad leadership issues in the sector. Of course, we know that subsidy is almost a thing of the past. Anytime,
soon. We're in 2023 now.
Yeah, in 2023.
And we'll be saying goodbye to subsidy.
Of course, we'll be
saying if it will go away, because we have had statements in the past, pledges that police subsidies is scam. That's why by this present administration, almost 8 years ago, that it was a scam and they are going to remove it. At the end of the day, what do we have? Subsidy continuing, even in trillions.
Yes.
Being paid out for subsidy.
Yes, to rook marketers.
Okay.
Rook marketers. But the issue is that once government is able to do away with this subsidy, if they keep to their word and do away with subsidy. And of course, interestingly also, we've seen especially two of the contestants for presidency, the office of the president in 2023, have been hammering that they will do away with subsidy.
Yes.
So let's assume it's already taken care of. But of course, you have the case of where you have this moribund refineries.
Of course, they're in a better position to say now with so much, with goodwill that yes, they are going to do away with the subsidy.
Yes.
Considering the fact that Dangote refinery is coming upstream this year, 2023 too.
Yeah, Dangote refinery is coming
that
up.
one also lends a boost to their.
Yes, and Abdul Samad Rabiu is also doing another refinery in Akwa Ibom State. That one is also maybe likely in 2024 it will also come on stream. Yeah, that brings us the issue of also the moribund refineries. Because what they are saying is that, you see, if you want to fully deregulate,
yeah, we're hearing reports that the Port Harcourt refinery will also be working.
Yeah,
maybe February.
That
I
is,
don't know how true.
Yeah, the problem is that it's not every time they are doing turnaround maintenance.
Yes.
And what we're saying is that we're tired of this turnaround.
And the money for turnaround maintenance is not to be there.
Yes, and that is the corruption. That's the corruption we'll be talking about. It's not today they started the turnaround maintenance. Today they will vote so billions for turnaround maintenance. Tomorrow they start another turnaround maintenance. It's become a pipe they're using to siphon money. It's a conduit, to siphon money. So, but what we're saying that, you see, if you want to fully deregulate, you must make sure that you get your refineries working. Dangote is already, we know it's almost there. BUA will come on stream.
Yeah.
Then, but you can do away with these fixed moribund refineries, and of course, create a level playing field now. Then, those who want to invest can now come in. Big industry players can now move in to invest. Then you can now fully deregulate.
However, Kingsley, there was something that you said in the report too, the leading story on the national economy. It says that the absence of private sector
PIA
playing in the importation of fuel, PIA, also is also a factor. But why was that a caveat included?
I don't know. I don't know when they were actually coming up with making.
Because you are talking about the deregulation this time around, and at the same time you are putting a whisper now.
Yeah, I think yes, it is left for the incoming administration to look into that. Tinker with it a little, because the idea is that if you can create a level playing field, allow these people to import, grant them access to foreign.
No, but before passing the PIA, the lawmakers did not see it.
It's not. I don't think it's because they did not see it. PIA as it were at the moment is not. You won't say it's a bad policy. There are still areas also.
Gray areas
that still needed to be worked on. But as it is now, what is simply like you are doing a first lap. We are set to go if it's for the first lap, but there may be other laps to go. Which means as we progress, we have to look at certain areas, gray areas in this period that may hinder full deregulation of this sector. If you are going to come in as a private player, you don't want to be restricted
at all.
You want to have the
instead the federal government could actually have its own agency at hand to ensure that they monitor these imported fuel.
Yeah, they already have all these agencies, but what we're saying is that you see, good at an NMPC now is now it's a company now. Yes. It's no longer the head. Yes. So it's set for that competition. But we're looking at this gray area that may also be a problem. If they can be taken care of, then why not? Investors will have the confidence to come in and put their money. Then, of course, we'll talk about the refinery. They will look at the issue of vandalism. Apart from oil theft, we have cases of vandalism. Yes. So you can't come
and there were reports again a few days ago that the people of Rivers also discovered a pipeline well that they have been siphoning for the past.
There is no end to it. There are so many of them.
So many to eat.
So many of them.
So many discoveries.
And was it not a river that Governor Wike they say about 3,000 so-called illegal refineries operating somewhere? There are so many of them there. These are things that must be taken care of. If government really meant business, if he says he wants to fully deregulate, you can't have these things and you are telling me I'm coming in to come and put my money. Put my money where? Put my money so it will be flushed down the drain. It doesn't work that way. That means that incoming administration has a lot of work to do. It's not just enough to say I will do away with subsidy. Subsidy is just a subset of the whole. There are other issues that will signify that we are ready and set to play in the market. But as it were at the moment, we are not ready. And until government is able to tackle these issues, we are going nowhere. You can't. What are we talking? Since the coming on stream of the PIA, how many investors have we been able to attract into the country? None.
Instead, most of these foreign
They are already
investors are even
leaving.
winding down.
Yeah, they are winding down. They are leaving. Nobody wants to stay in a hostile environment.
That brings us to our local indigenous oil companies. What are they doing? What is their capacity? Because we also, apart from oil, we're also talking about this natural gas. We have it about we have a large deposit of gas in the country.
Yes.
It goes to about can last up to more than, if not 80 years.
Yes.
And yet we don't have investors in that area.
With this Russia-Ukraine war, investors are coming. There have been delegations from the EU. They have been coming.
Okay.
Because one, they want to break Russia's monopoly of gas in Europe. And Nigeria has this in abundance.
Yes.
So what they are doing now is that you see that Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline project, is supposed to connect from Nigeria to Africa down to Europe. So it's a work in progress. On that side, we can say government is solid working. But the problem is that the time frame now is very short. It's for the incoming administration again to still continue, harness this resource, because this is where the game is now. The whole world needs gas now, and we have it in abundance. So government has been making efforts. There's no doubt about that. But
where are the concrete investors? That's the problem.
They will come when environment is safe.
However, according to report, just that the whole world is moving from fossil oil, of which gas also belongs to. So I think, like I heard it, most foreign investors are just skeptical.
No, the thing is that quite unlike petroleum, gas is a bit. The reason because gas has you can use it to do so many things.
So many things. So many.
So that is where the shift is going now. That is where the shift is now. From this oil to gas, that is where the shift is. But even at that, it's going to take a while. It's easy for them to say by 2030, by 2040. Those are just talk is cheap.
Rhetoric.
Yeah, they are just talking. It will take a while for these things to happen. But why it is taking that time to happen, it's about this one we have now. How do we open it up to private players to come in, so that also we begin to reap the dividends of these things?
Yes.
Right now, it's like you have this resource, and it's only very few criminal elements that have hijacked it that are now, reaping the full benefits of it all. And that is why at some point, and this method of when people begin to protest, they bring in this divide and rule approach, where they use it to break protests, divide this, they set people to fight against each other. But the idea is that if government means business, it has to tackle these issues. If these issues can be handled, then of course, big industry players can come in and play. But right now, of course, I don't even want to go to the issue of insecurity. Nobody wants to be kidnapped again.
Yes.
That's the fact. But then, if we can look at vandalism, look at oil theft, look at access to foreign exchange, which is even a key factor.
Yes. Very, very key.
Yeah, access to foreign exchange is a key factor. Then look at how they can tweak that PIA, that section of the PIA that is not at the moment favorable to the marketers in the downstream petroleum sector. You look at how you can tweak it. Then look at how you can get these regulatory authorities, to really sit up and work and do their work. Things. We're not saying that at the moment we will fully deregulate, the price of petrol will come down immediately. No, it's not going to happen. It's going to take a while but then there will be competition. And once there is competition, naturally prices will fall.
Exactly.
Because there may be so many players in the field. All of them are looking for buyers. So because of that, they'll force their price. Their price, when MTN came into the country, remember SIM card?
Well, we are going to continue.
People bought it as
from a break, they are signaling us to go on a break. It's time to go for a break. Viewers, when we come back, we'll be looking more on the need to really deregulate the oil sector so that new entrants can come to the field. Don't go away, stay tuned for more.
sponsorship, and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back. This is Money Radio on Leadership Television, where we dissect Monday edition of National Economy in Business Paper. And of course, this Monday is no exception. We are looking at the cover story, Downstream Petroleum Sector, why Nigeria finds it difficult to attain full deregulation. That's the cover story on National Economy this Monday, January 16, 2023. Now, Kingsley, and with me, of course, with me in the studio is the editor of the paper, Kingsley Alu. He is an in-house analyst. Kingsley, thank you once again. Now, before we went on the break, you were telling me how many players or multi-players could actually change the game by bringing the prices down.
Yeah.
We were talking about MTN when we had
yes.
You want to discuss more?
Yeah, I was saying that that could be replicated in any sector.
Yes,
it's about competition.
Demand. It actually is not if you leave people in a dire strait when there's monopoly.
Yeah,
when there's monopoly,
there's
no choice.
No choice. You have
no alternative.
Of course, of course. But if you can, open up, let the market forces determine. When MTN came, people were buying SIM card as high as 50,000.
Yes.
They came down to 30,000. One SIM card down to 20,000, then 11,000.
Any person owning the MTN then was regarded as wow, a king.
You're all there, But today, these are things they are selling 150, 300, 700 naira per SIM card. That's what competition can do. That's what can happen when you create a level playing field for everybody. Competition is about the laws of demand and supply. When the supply is more than demand, prices will come down. So that is what exactly can happen in the downstream petroleum sector if it's opened up to competition. But right now, because cases of monopoly, government sole importer of petroleum product, then of course you say you are paying subsidy to marketers and all those kind of funny stories, siphoning trillions of naira down the drain. It doesn't really help anybody. But then we have said that aside the issue of subsidy, which I know hopefully will go away, there are other factors, and that's why we are looking at why government needs to really all this turnaround maintenance. We keep hearing it every day. Let them for once get serious with these projects. And then of course we look at that vandalism, we look at the issue of OETEP, which we've already discussed here many times.
There's another thing that an analyst keeps saying that you hear people say that government has no business doing business. No, that is not true. It's not of that school of thought. That actually government should be doing business, involved in business. Assuming is a private owner that owns these Nigerian moribund Nigerians refineries, that they are not refining anything, yet you have the staff there receiving bogus sum of money, allowances over the years for work not done.
Well, the problem with government shouldn't actually have any interest, have any business doing business. They should create a level, a good environment, conducive environment.
Which government or something? Think about the Nigerians refineries over the years. How many single drop of oil crude oil have they refined? Yet they receive bogus sum of money.
We are saying the same thing. See. Look around government establishments. Just take a look at how they run them. Look around private establishments. Take a look at how they are run. Two different, the same, maybe complex, different style of management. The problem is that, you see, when it is your thing, you throw everything at it.
Yes.
When it is not your thing, you just get like a desicle. And see, there is a tendency for civil servants to live on what I call the steady income hypothesis. They are not really there to work. They are there to just scream off money. Not all of them. But what we are saying in effect is that the work of government is to create a conducive environment to enable investors to come. That is why they are government. That is why they are there in the first place. If you can set the necessary laws in motion, create an enabling environment, that is your job. When the private investor who is coming with his money. He cannot know, okay, I feel safe, I can put my money here. He also look at your tax laws, he looks at a lot of things there. They are okay for him. Then he can settle that and start doing business. But you can't be government creating the law, possibly creating chaos in the environment. At the same time, you are involved in the business.
You are not able to tackle insecurity.
You have not been able to tackle insecurity. So that is just the thing. That, you know, is best left to the private players to manage business. But then government has to make sure that these things are taken care of so they can, the full deregulation can really come.
All right, thank you so much. We are going to be discussing another story on the cover of National Economy, and that is the cashless policy, how businesses are coping. Cashless policy, how businesses are coping. Kingsley, now, whether we like it or not, the CBN has reiterated its deadline for January 31st of this year for there to be, for the policy to take effect. So how ready are Nigerians?
I think eventually they will key in. Because one, it's not for the people in the urban setting. I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge.
No, it won't be.
It won't be more because, you know, you have POS everywhere.
And you have been doing it. Most times you make transfer.
You'll be doing transfer.
Yes.
It's nothing new per se.
Yes.
All they just want to do is to limit the volume of cash, physical cash in circulation, you know, and also to decongest the banking halls. So it's okay. But for the people in the rural area, this is where the challenge comes.
Yes.
You don't get to go, if you go to rural areas, I don't know how many banks you can really say they have their presence, or even if they do, where their POS, they don't have most of those. When you are you'll be looking for maybe ATM machines, you may not find ATM machines. And even these POS operators again, you may see their services there are a bit skeletal. So businesses for the ones in the rural areas for now is going to be really, really tough for them.
Unless but I see it as it's not going to actually affect them, given the fact that you know, the individual withdrawal, you know, CBN did increase it to 500,000, while for corporate 5 million. So at least you can withdraw 500,000 unless you have that kind of amount in your account anyway, and of course business as usual.
That is what we're saying. If you are in the
after all, the CBN, does it prohibit people from trading if you have the cash with you too?
No, they don't. They don't prohibit it. But what we're saying that is, if you go to some of these rural areas, where are the villages, you can travel miles, kilometers on end. You won't find one ATM machine. This is where the challenge is. When in the township, so you can move around, you can see a lot of, you can you can do your transaction. But for the people in the so I think the work line is for the banks also, to ensure they have their ATM machines in those settings. So increase services because a new policy, and the moment it comes fully into effect now, it's not going to be, I want to come and withdraw 500,000, I'm coming to the bank. Nobody will look at you. Nobody. You just be on your own. You just know I'm coming, you just go take your card, go there, and of course, make your withdrawals. That is what they want to do. That way, you reduce the volume of cash in circulation.
When we are reducing the volume of cash in circulation, how about these banks? At the end of the day, we are going to have so many unemployed bankers on our hands. Can Nigerians stand that? Can you be able to withstand it?
I don't think this will affect maybe bankers like such.
They say it's going to.
That they will retrench or they will sack or what.
Because at the end of the day, you will not be attending to so many people in the banking hall again.
Yeah, but it's a whole gamut. If you look at the financial system, it's a whole gamut.
Yeah.
You understand me? There are still so many things that are done within the banking hall, apart from the man who stands,
Like for instance,
who sits
when
at the
I
counter.
wanted to be getting alert in one of my accounts, I remember I went. Oh, of course, when I went to the bank, the queue was quite long, and I was told that no, you don't need to even come. Yes, what do you want? I told them, said no, just go and use ATM, and I was able to just do it with ATM. And I'm still getting alert. I was saying, wow.
Well, if you
So
look,
some of these services actually is self-help.
Yeah,
You can use self-help.
you can have self-help.
So at the end of the day, now with this cashless,
Yes,
you know,
what they normally do,
that
most
is-
of those guys you meet at the counter, they will be just be redeployed. Like I told you, financial services sector is a whole gamut.
It's a whole gamut.
You understand? There are a lot of things they are doing there that even goes beyond you, the man in the counter who's dishing out, giving you cash and all the kind of thing. There are a lot of things they can still use them to do. That's why they go for trainings. They go for trainings. Just like we do in our own organization. You know, the training, retraining. You could be redeployed to any of the company's employment basis because you have been properly equipped. So they are properly equipped to move into any section of the bank and see continue doing banking business.
All right, thank you so much. Just before we go, there's another story too on the cover. Nigeria losing billions to absence of 24-hour port operation. Nigeria losing billions to absence of 24-hour port operation. So it was one interesting one. And
yeah, he said the thing is, yes, he said the usual thing at the ports. We talk of the congestion there, because they have not been able to make the system fluid. It's not fluid, and so goods coming attract demurrage.
Yes.
It takes days to clear goods. So many.
And at the end of the day, the owners are made to pay for what normally.
So many agencies at the ports. So many agencies at the ports. Nothing is coordinated. So as a result, that is what it comes to. Most importers will prefer going to neighboring ports of Benin, Togo, and even Ghana, and Cameroon to do their business. So that means the money that's supposed to come to us are diverted to those places. So is what maybe the new Peter will be one of these
presidential candidates.
Yes, he even raised the alarm that a post authority, Nigerian post authority, has
guest houses in
office in London. And even guest houses. Your business is here. You are opening office there to do what? So these are the issues anyway.
These are the issues. Thank you so much for speaking to some of the issues actually we have in the country. Kingsley, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you same time, same station next week. They are saying that time is against us. I remember Winifred Ubebo. I look forward to also to seeing you same time next week on the program. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.